Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm your host, Sergeant John Prine, the Public Information Officer at the Indianapolis District for the Indiana State Police. The Roadshow is brought to you each and every week by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the State Police Alliance. For more information, you can visit their website at www.indianasfinest.com. Thank you, MS Communication and Network Indiana, for all the work they do to get us on the radio waves across the state each and every week. We so appreciate their efforts and their hospitality each time we come into the studio. Thank you, Mr. Tom Trial, for working so hard to get us on YouTube, making us look good. If you get a chance, check out the Indiana State Police YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, and check out all the content from all the great road shows that we've had and also some other incredible historical moments with the Indiana State Police that you can catch on the YouTube channel. Very, very special guests today. Back again is Captain Ron Galaviz, Chief PIO for the Indiana State Police. Thanks for coming, Ron. And newly promoted, laterally transferred, I don't know how that really works, but the Bloomington Post PIO is Sgt Michael Wood.
Yep.
Sergeant Wood, thanks for coming.
Yeah, no problem.
So tell us a little bit, where does Mike Wood come from?
Spencer, Indiana, small little town just west of Bloomington, about 15 miles, 18 miles, something like that.
And what's the high school down there?
Owen Valley.
Owen Valley High School.
The only high school in the county.
Okay, all right. And so I've had an opportunity to know Sergeant Wood most of his career and most of my career. We have about the same time on. And he's done a lot of pretty cool things, but it all started for you in Putnamville. Yeah,
started in 07 in Putnamville, graduated the 67th Recruit Academy, the largest one we've ever put out. And
the big class is what we call it.
The big class, that's right. So went out to Putnamville, worked the road, did multiple things out there, and then kind of made my way to the academy for about 6 different classes.
Now, you think we would, at any chance, talk about your road career without talking about your amazing, historic, heroic rescue?
Right. Yeah. There's a book out. I've seen the book.
I know.
I don't own it. I guess I need to buy it.
It was probably one of our first Indiana State Police viral photos.
Really?
I would think so.
Yeah, I guess that was about the time Twitter really started hitting.
So the story that I know is that Sergeant Wood was patrolling as a trooper and found a deceased deer and that had a baby.
So I think we had a dispatch about a baby deer stuck in the median. Yeah. And so, I just went to it, and it was a early, I want to say Sunday morning, but it seemed like one of those early Sunday mornings, not a lot of traffic. So I thought, okay, if I can get a break in traffic, I'll help it get across the road. Well, as I pull up, I see mom, deceased, and this baby is new. Like, being a father, there's what babies look like and some of the stuff.
So it just came out.
Yeah,
crash.
Yeah, right? And who knows? I'm not a zoologist or anything to know it. Maybe that the crash caused it. I have no idea. So I quickly have a couple towels on my back in my trunk. So grabbed him up, picked him up, and had dispatch start calling some animal care places that handle stuff like that. Hindsight, knowing that what I know now is talking to DNR people, they're like, hey, you just got to let it be, because a lot of times they wander off from mom, and I'm like, well, mom's right there, and she's not coming back. So wrapped up towels, made some accommodations, and I think it went up north to like Crawfordsville area. So I met them about halfway.
Yeah, pretty cool memory.
Yeah. And I had to wait a few seconds, so I stopped by the post, and the ladies at the post ran out and started taking pictures of it and stuff. So
and that's
it's like having a puppy.
That's the famous picture. So anyway, that's some of the, and you did a lot on the road, but then you dabbled into PIO while you were a road trooper. You were the acting PIO at Putnamville a few times.
Yeah, did that for a few times, and then I know Kurt, who I replaced down there, had called me a few times to help him out, and then didn't really get into that too much before the academy came. So I went to temporary assignment out there, and which turned into a full-time assignment.
So where Mike comes from is he was the assistant commander of the Indiana State Police Academy, and so essentially full-time job out at the academy, running things behind the scenes for the academy.
Yeah, I'd say there's always the face of the command of the academy, and then there's the guy typing all the numbers and planning stuff, making calls, make sure we can get this room, having this many cars there, whatever it may be, and that was kind of what I did. So
Now, Captain, we all that knew Mike, and Mike did an incredible job for training. Everybody I've talked to from training says, man, we're really losing a valuable piece to our process here. But anybody who's known Mike over the last 10 years or so knows where his passion was. And he missed his opportunity at the Putnamville PIO job when he didn't put in. And he told me that the day that closed is the day he realized he wanted to be a PIO.
Yeah.
And so fortunately, here he is.
Right. And to our benefit, we're getting a great young man. He's got great communication skills, great organizational skills, and he's just a people person all the way around. I mean, I haven't known Mike as long as you have, but the interactions that I've had with him out at the academy and other places, I've always been very impressed. He's always been very accommodating and, willing to bend over backwards. So especially when we come out and teach our course to their students. So looking forward to really seeing him jump in with both feet. And he really has. He's really started off on social media and getting some releases out. So we're looking forward to big things from him, and it's one of those things, you always hear that old cliche, hey, he got big shoes to fill. I like to say that you're putting your own shoes on. You're going to create your own footprints for other people to follow.
That's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're all very excited to see you in this new role, in this new chapter in your career.
Thanks.
So congratulations.
And Mike has been and will continue to be very active on social media. You can find him on Twitter at ISP Bloomington. Or on Facebook, if you search the Indiana State Police Bloomington District, that's the Facebook page that Mike is going to be running. He'll be putting out good content in there. Yeah. So follow him. He's very, very good with graphics, I've noticed. He does good work with photos, and it's important that we stay on social media.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I had that conversation with Captain the other day, and it trickled down to a couple other PIOs throughout the state. We had some got on Teams video chat and started talking, and he's like, wow. How can you do that? And I'm like, it's easy. It's really simple. It just takes time. So.
Easy for you, but for those of us that are
I started from scratch like everybody else, just learning. Because I'm not a graphic design major or anything like that, and I just see what other people do and then try to do my own little niche to it. So
you've dabbled in PIO. You've been very close. So again, you're somebody that I've relied on even before you were a PIO for advice, and we talked often. What's one of the biggest surprises so far in the 2 or 3 weeks you've started as a PIO?
Just the amount of calls I get from just the public looking into things or needing help. Because your face is put out there as a new PIO. You got a press release. You're on the website. People search for gun permits or something, and they look for their district, and they're just trying to. Oftentimes you get these automated phone calls, and then they see my number, so I get a direct call to me, and so just answering a lot of calls like that. So,
and you'll become a valuable resource for a lot of folks, and the fact that you come from a small community like I do, they'll take ownership as they already have, I'm sure, and those are the kinds of people that are going to be reaching out to you daily as well.
Yeah. And I look forward to that challenge. I said, community minded, want to be part of that community and help showcase what we're doing.
Now, Captain mentioned filling shoes and all that, and that's not what this question's about, but what are some of your plans for the Bloomington District PIO-wise?
So my thing is, like he said, my own little niche. There's obviously some great resources that are already there, and it's I want to showcase what the troopers are doing in the district, all their hard work, and if I can do that and get to know everybody down there. Like I said, I know a lot of people, but I've never really worked Bloomington District, so it's a whole different wrinkle for me coming in rather than it's like, you're already in Indianapolis or whatnot, so you know the area. So I've got a little bit of catch up to do there and get to know what everybody's doing. So, well,
I'm pretty confident that you're not going to be a hard guy to get along with.
No, I'm pretty easy going there.
And that was always a fun thing when I was in your shoes, 13 years ago as a new PIO. Getting my predecessor had taken me around to the different media outlets and introduced me to MESO meetings and stuff like that. But getting out there on your own and really making those inroads and developing that rapport with those folks is so key. So that when you're walking around, they're calling you and asking for interviews or information. There's already that that compatibility, if you will, the professional compatibility, and it's I think it's invaluable. So.
Right. Yeah, like I said, there's valuable relationships that already have been made. I'm just looking for any of those gaps that I can kind of fill in and do. So,
and it, geographically where you live, you're able to have a lot of resources outside of your district as well. I mean, you're very close to Putnamville, very close to Indianapolis.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know you have some relationships in Terre Haute.
Yep.
And so we'll look forward to seeing that content coming from you. Probably much like me, I didn't fully understand the jobs of a PIO until I got the job. And you realize there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. Like for every 10 or 15 minutes of on TV time you see, there's hours and hours that often go into that.
Absolutely.
That's kind of one of the surprises for me.
And, it goes back to when you got PIO, we were in class together, if you remember. Yeah. And so who would have thought back then that this is where I'd be today?
It's full circle.
Yeah.
We always kind of know. I mean, I know, and Matt Ames is doing an incredible job at Putnamville. Very, very good at what he does. But when that job opened, I remember calling you, pushing you, and saying, "Hey, and this is your chance." And I understand how torn you were, because you do have a passion for training, a passion for the academy, and did a lot of good things out there as well.
It's a great job, and any department members that are on and wanting to think about going back to the academy and being a counselor or whatnot, do it. It's awesome. It's very rewarding.
It's quite a commitment.
Yes, it is.
And I know that people know that, but it's also got to be such a good feeling knowing that you have a hand in, you're training the next generation.
Yeah, absolutely. We've kind of shot the numbers before, and the amount of troopers are out there right now that I've been there under and maybe mentored somehow is pretty outstanding. So.
Yeah, really, really cool. So we still have about 4 minutes left, Ron. Is there anything?
And I was going to ask, so what's the one thing that you'll miss most about the academy? Not being out there every day.
The people. People I work with, all the troopers throughout the state that come down and spend a week there training whatever curriculum they're teaching, and then the recruits. I mean, just seeing go from day one to whatever day the last day is. It's 6 months later, develop into being a trooper. That's what I'll miss. That's really rewarding. So,
now, is there a particular time within that training? I mean, it's hard to say, week 10 or week 12, but where it's almost like you wake up the next morning like, okay, they've turned that corner and they're going the direction that we want them to go.
There are some milestones that they hit that you see some progression, but every class is different.
Sure.
And, we preach that team effort a lot. So where they drag their feet at working as a team, sometimes it can take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So,
I think probably one of the most rewarding things at the academy for you has to be not the person that shows up on day one that's already sharp, squared away, and they're going to be successful. It's the one that doesn't have any confidence and they're quiet, and then at some point you see them come out of that shell and develop into a really good trooper. Right? That's gotta be cool.
And not only that, but 5 years down the line when they're out on the road and you see how much that they've changed and or picked up some of the pieces that we taught and become really good troopers, or just really good fathers or mothers, or just in general people.
And that's a good point, because that training and everything that you put them through, because a lot of these, they're kids. I mean, they're 21, 22, 23 years old.
Right.
You're preparing them for life. So what you're preparing them for transcends this. That's a really good point. You don't think about that very often.
Yeah, what a cool responsibility. But it's funny that we all remember our academy days and have the stories, but things that didn't make sense at the time, but then later on in life or in career, you look back and you're like, now I see why we did that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I see why I had to make my bed every day, why I had to make sure my uniform was pressed and my shoes were shined. And, but at the time you're thinking, I think they just want to mess with us.
Oh yeah.
And it is very orchestrated, and there's got to be moments at the academy where you're like, hey, this is going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. There are definitely good days. There are definitely good days, and you look forward to it, and you see it on everybody's faces. They're like, they're ready for it to do. So.
Yeah, very good. And this last class was absolutely, your last class was a challenge, because
absolutely.
Is it going to go? It was supposed to start in March, and then, is it going to go? And then toward the end, another shutdown.
Yep. We had some obstacles. We fought through it. I'm hoping we can, in 5-10 years, we see that it wasn't that big of a deal.
So for those of you tuning in, we've been talking with Sgt Mike Wood, who's the new PIO at the Bloomington district, and you might recognize the name. He's been very public during his career, but he's replacing a great PIO, Sergeant Kurt Durnall, who retired from the Indiana State Police and has moved on to another job. But, we're very confident that a beat won't be missed. You're going to be right in there. We've already been seeing news releases coming out of Bloomington, and you're already doing great work.
Thank you.
Yep. So, again, we're very happy to have you. And again, we have a network of PIOs throughout the entirety of the state that, you can always, reach out to. So we got a great network, I think.
That, as a PIO, I've learned that my greatest resource, without question, is other PIOs, other police officers.
Right, yeah.
It's not books and internet, and that it's being able to pick up that phone call and calling guys like you and saying, hey,
what do you think?
Or what do you think?
Yeah, what should I say? Or
sometimes just talking something out loud makes all the difference.
Absolutely. And we've had discussions like that on the phone in the past. So absolutely.
Yeah. So again, thank you for tuning in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. You've been tuned in with Captain Ron Galaviz, Sergeant Mike Wood, and myself, Sergeant John Perrine. The Roadshow is brought to you each and every week by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the State Police Alliance. You can find us on YouTube. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Tom works real hard to get the content on there. We're very appreciative of that historical value that it's going to bring, and we'd like everybody to check it out. So thank you very much, and we will talk to you next time.